Lesson 14. Intelligence and Individual Differences. The main concept of Charles Spearman's general intelligence theory. Spearman's theory of intelligence consists of two components, general intelligence G, and specific ability S. To explain the differences in performance on different tasks, Spearman hypothesized that the S component is linked to a certain aspect of intelligence. The four factors and its meaning of Spearman's specific factor and its meaning. 1. Maturation is the physical and psychological growth that occurs in the child at a specific stage. 2. Experience is when the child thinks and interacts with real or concrete objects in the external environment. 3. Social interaction involves the child socializing with others, especially children. The last factor of stage movement is equilibration. This occurs when the child brings together maturation, experience, and social interaction in order to build mental schema. 4. Equilibration is considered to beta tendency for children to seek cognitive coherence and stability. They are motivated in this drive for equilibration by disequilibrium or a perceived discrepancy between an existing scheme and something new. The main idea of Louis Leon Thurstone's theory of intelligence factor analysis. Louis Leon Thurstone proposed theory in 1930s that intelligence is composed of several different factors. The 7 primary mental abilities in Thurstone's model were verbal comprehension, word fluency, number facility, spatial visualization, associative memory, perceptual speed and reasoning. The 7 primary mental abilities Thurstone, and its meaning. 1. Associative memory, the capacity to memorize and recall. 2. Numerical capacity, the capacity to solve mathematical and critical problems. 3. Perceptual speed, the capacity to see and find patterns. This can see differences and similarities among various objects. 4. Reasoning, the capacity to find patterns and rules. 5. Spatial visualization, the capacity to visualize relationships. 6. Verbal comprehension, the capacity to define and understand words. 7. Word fluency, the capacity to produce words rapidly. The meaning of Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence. Multiple intelligences refers to a theory describing the different ways students learn and acquire information. These multiple intelligences range from the use of words, numbers, pictures and music, to the importance of social interactions, introspection, physical movement and being in tune with nature. The 9 multiple intelligences and its meaning is presented by Howard Gardner. Naturalistic intelligence. Have you noticed how some people can make anything grow? It's as if they have a green thumb. Others connect with animals easily and some are completely at home in nature. Naturalistic intelligence describes people who are sensitive to the natural world. They enjoy being outside, nurturing and exploring the environment. People with high naturalistic intelligence are sensitive to subtle changes in nature and the environment around them. Musical intelligence. Not everyone has green thumbs and a love for the great outdoors. Instead, some people are naturally drawn towards music. People with musical intelligence are generally more sensitive to sound and often pick up on noises that others would not normally be aware of. They have an excellent sense of rhythm and the ability to recognize tone and pitch. More often than not, they play an instrument or are involved in music as a profession. Logical mathematical intelligence. Of all the types of intelligence, logical mathematical intelligence is the most similar to what we typically associate with general intelligence. People with this type of intelligence are excellent at maths and working with numbers. They can recognize patterns easily and work out processes in a logical manner. They have excellent reasoning skills and can often talk themselves out of trouble. People with high logical mathematical intelligence are often drawn to games involving strategy and the solving of puzzles. Existential intelligence. While many of us are happy with going about our lives day by day, people with high levels of existential intelligence often think more deeply about daily occurrences. They ask questions similar to "Why are we here?" and "What is the point of all this?" They are often deeply philosophical thinkers and they have the capacity to look for answers to questions bigger than themselves. Existential intelligence is often called spiritual or moral intelligence. Interpersonal intelligence. Do you have a natural ability to get on well with others? Are you good at reading people and social situations? If this is the case, chances are that you have a high level of interpersonal intelligence. People with this type of intelligence are often good at reading verbal and nonverbal cues as well as determining temperament and mood. They feel empathy easily. Often this type of intelligence can be found in leaders, politicians, social workers, life coaches and psychologists. Linguistic intelligence. Linguistic intelligence is the type of intelligence that is most commonly shared by humans. It involves our ability to think in words and use these words to make oneself understood. People with high linguistic intelligence are very good at putting their feelings and thoughts into words in order to make others understand them. They are drawn to activities such as reading, writing and public speaking. Bodily kinesthetic intelligence. People high in bodily kinesthetic intelligence have an excellent sense of timing and a great mind-body coordination as well as fine and gross motor skills. They are able to use their bodies to convey feelings and ideas and, as a result, they often take up roles in dance, sports or medicine. They use their bodies to solve problems and create something meaningful. Intrapersonal intelligence. Do you understand your thoughts, feelings and emotions and are you able to use this understanding in your everyday life? If this is the case, you probably have high intrapersonal intelligence. Intrapersonal intelligence refers to an understanding of oneself and the human condition as a whole. They are known as self-smart people and, despite having a deeper understanding of their own emotions, they are often quite shy. Philosophers, spiritual leaders, psychologists and writers usually have high intrapersonal intelligence. Spatial intelligence. Spatial intelligence is defined as the ability to consider things in 3 dimensions. People with high spatial intelligence are generally very creative and usually have a vivid imagination, high artistic ability and excellent spatial reasoning. These people are often referred to as picture smart, and can be found in professions such as architecture, design and map reading. The 3 components of the triarchic theory of intelligence, and its meaning, as presented by Robert Sternberg. 1. Practical intelligence. Sternberg called one's ability to successfully interact with the everyday world practical intelligence. Practical intelligence is related to the contextual subtheory. Practically intelligent people are especially adept at behaving in successful ways in their external environment. 2. Creative intelligence. The experiential subtheory is related to creative intelligence, which is one's ability to use existing knowledge to create new ways to handle new problems or cope in new situations. 3. Analytical intelligence. The componential subtheory is related to analytical intelligence, which is essentially academic intelligence. Analytical intelligence is used to solve problems and is the kind of intelligence that is measured by a standard IQ test. The main idea of Atkinson-Shiffrin's cognitive information processing theory. The most important theory in information processing is the stage theory originated by Atkinson and Shiffrin, which specifies a sequence of 3 stages information goes through to become encoded into long-term memory, sensory memory, short-term or working memory, and long-term memory. The 3 stages of memory processing and its meaning of Richard Atkinson and Richard Shiffrin. 1. Sensory memory. In the Atkinson-Shiffrin model, stimuli from the environment are processed first in sensory memory, storage of brief sensory events, such as sights, sounds, and tastes. It is very brief storage, up to a couple of seconds. We are constantly bombarded with sensory information. We cannot absorb all of it, or even most of it. And most of it has no impact on our lives. For example, what was your professor wearing the last class period? As long as the professor was dressed appropriately, it does not really matter what she was wearing. Sensory information about sights, sounds, smells, and even textures, which we do not view as valuable information, we discard. If we view something as valuable, the information will move into our short-term memory system. 2. Short-term memory. Short-term memory is a temporary storage system that processes incoming sensory memory. Sometimes it is called working memory. Short-term memory takes information from sensory memory and sometimes connects that memory to something already in long-term memory. Short-term memory storage lasts about 20 seconds. Think of short-term memory as the information you have displayed on your computer screen, a document, a spreadsheet, or a web page. Information in short-term memory either goes to long-term memory when you save it to your hard drive, or it is discarded when you delete a document or close a web browser. 3. Long-term memory. Long-term memory is the continuous storage of information. Unlike short-term memory, the storage capacity of long-term memory has no limits. It encompasses all the things you can remember that happened more than just a few minutes ago to all of the things that you can remember that happened days, weeks, and years ago. In keeping with the computer analogy, the information in your long-term memory would be like the information you have saved on the hard drive. It isn't there on your desktop, your short-term memory, but you can pull up this information when you want it, at least most of the time. Not all long-term memories are strong memories.